All right, this is Divine Guidance. Star Seed Spiritually 777. Okay, so I put that information about that feminine divine. I put that information because there's a lot of things. I can't just say a lot was really going on. But, I just realized something. I kind of like, it's a lot of things going on when we just had a new president. And I had to realize that it is a lot of things that you never thought that people would do certain things. And, after I did that collect reading, I kind of like, it's a lot of people, when you start doing intuitive reading, and a lot of it, people in your family don't like it. And when you have a conversation with another person, they're doing the same thing, and somebody else has noticed a lot. I kind of think the family are embarrassed, and this is what caused problems behind, and this is why it's been called another name. They call it MK Ultra, and it's like an operation that happened in 1953, and there was some type of, I think it was in Switzerland. And that's Switzerland. And that was type of wars. So the MK Ultra, I kind of believe that what this divine that was going through is basically they was trying to take her remembering. So, now that I've already got the information with the cards, and that everything is tied to it. So, and I was saying about Jim Jones, because that was a cult. In these different places, in these different type of religions, I'm not saying all religions are bad, but some of them are, they basically is the teaching of their preaching. Now I've noticed the different religions with is it 4103Cs or something like that, where certain type of religions are doing all type of things, and there's different from what everybody else, like I said, I come from the church myself, so really I kind of like, it's difference, right? And I kind of think that's the title should have been differences, because it's got so many people that's coming in for different immigrants and different things and people. And at this time, and it seems like everybody's trying to control everybody. And I've noticed it every time I pull a different numberology. That is the numbers, like number 6 is the 6th house. Astrology with numerology will give you the information that's number 6. Number 6 is going to be a Virgo. Virgo is the month, which is the zodiac, also going to give you that house. And that house is going to be health. But across it will be Pisces with number 12th house. And that information, 12th house, is hidden. So that let you know across both and 4. 6th house and 12th house is going to give you Pisces. Pisces is 2 fish. And that is a water sign. And it crosses from the earth. That's going to give you some of the information. Kind of give you the natural abilities with land and water. That makes sense. But also, Virgo is about birthing. Okay, it is the planet of Venus, and that is about a woman that's having birth in the sky. That's giving you information that the birthing of the effect, right? And there go with the Pisces, something hidden is hidden. It's like a den, right? Hide and den. And it's like, okay, so if that's the fish, and fish is Neptune, and Neptune is the planet, and it's a lot of illusion with the moon. Okay, and number is the number 18 will be numerology and a tarot. So that would be 18. It is the moon, right? So you get that information that you're dealing with. Someone is trying to give you that type of illusion, illusional. But then if you illusion on Neptune, that planet, and the Venus planet, then you already know that's a double. This is about the woman. So they let you know this is only about women. As a divine feminine, we have a problem here. And this is when I say Houston, we got a problem. Because this has got to deal with the woman. And that means either you dealing with women and women to come against women, or you have the man that's coming against you about your wisdom and intuition will be in that 12th house. And it's hidden of knowledge. And it be, and like I said, occult and esoteric. That's knowledge. So when you go back and forth, it's about birthing ideas. That's how you get to understand it about astrology, the zodiac month, and numerology, and different type of knowledge. That's how you get to understand about the calendar, to get to understand. That's why I always ask for the cafe astrology to give you more understanding, because each one of these houses are different. Now, so when you go across 6 and 12, that's going to tell you the information. So when you're dealing with 6 is meaning that it was new ideas. You probably had 6 things of that month that you were doing, and that's social. See, Virgo has social. Social has to do with groups, and groups is going to go across from the 12th house, which is Pisces again, which is going to give you the wisdom, intuition, and what it was about. It has to do with some type of social groups, and the reason why I believe this divine feminine was ordained to do things, and that was a lot of people that was tied to it, and also with covens. That means certain things. The religious had a problem with it and backed it. It was a backup with it, with something behind, and it had something to do with hidden things, and that was covens. And it has to do with an emperor. Like I said, it had either tied to some type of man that the feminine divine she was connected with. And that caused the problems. And there's relationships. And that 7th house. And all the people that were in it. And the community brought down from the 11th house, which is Aquarius. It is time of Aquarius. Like I was saying on the video, that one of the 2 of the readings said that it is the time of occultism. And I was like, really? And then I said, well, it is, because at a time we had the dark times. And at that time is in the 1800s. And it'll tell you it's called a dark time. That means that the things that the people that were kings and queens and the courts, like, were common courts. And they were doing all kinds of things. And it was a time, there was a darker time. That means they were doing not always good things. And it came back of a time where planets was a difference. And as astrology, like me, I like astrology. When I go look around, the planets has been changed. It gives you all the information. The planets has changed, and at that time, dark times, the planets were looking different, and everything was closer to the Earth. Okay, that's a lot of study. And so now I feel like this would happen when the divine feminine was going through the process, because she was studying, and she made to the point that whatever she was doing, her knowledge has increased. And knowledge, and therefore the religious, the people had a problem with it. The family had a problem, and they really bought. I can't say, I don't say like this. They targeted the feminine divine, and they paid somebody to do all that. That 24 targeted. That means somebody to put a bid on this feminine divine, and that, my understanding, there was a lot of trafficking in there too. So whatever they had put, if they put MK Ultra with their, because I kind of trying to figure out where it was coming from, because it came from the covert. Covert is the occult, and a covert is what they already is, a target and a bid. And when it's a covert and a narcissistic, that's all together. So I had to go in here and get some information. So this divine feminine was going through that process and dealing with it, with religious and occultism, and the emperor, magician, cult, and using the voodoo and the hoodoo, and also using the information that she had, the knowledge that everybody was coming. And then being trafficked in MK Ultra, from my understanding, I looked on here, they called a certain thing, they call it, they use LS, we call it I think it's LSD or something like that. Some type of medication that they use. But from my understanding, I was reading the video that they had on YouTube. It states that LC, they do that like in the 60s or the 70s, but they also do some type of acid. And maybe all of these things was going on with this feminine divine, and she came out of it. And maybe that's what happened. She kind of went through all the process that they came to target her, and they was trying to take her out. And now that she didn't, and constantly, then could be. But I realize it's a lot of people, when you do something that you would like to do, and you got so many people don't want you to do it. And 9 out of 10, you have become as anybody, then some of your family or friends don't like what you're doing. Now, and I was trying to tell my sister about some of this information. But she said, well, you got to have another type of head over your head. You got to have another covering, And in the church, it's about a covering. And certain people will say, well, you cover your head or whatever. And in scriptures, being religious, I noticed that a covering that's already was placed as you came out of the womb. And also, some people will make sure a woman is covered at all times. But my understanding, hair was covered over the head in the first place, but also it's another type of a spiritual covering. Okay, and I believe that this particular this divine feminine had a covering, and they didn't know she was cloaked. And they didn't know that she was able to still have the abilities to be able to give the intuitive readings that was given downloaded from ancestors. I had to go in there and try to get more understanding, because that Jim Jones kind of bothered me, because some of my family went through that process in that Jim Jones. And I kind of like, it's just a rehearsal of retrograde information from the Mercury thoughts and communication. And I kind of think it has something to do, even though we're in Sagittarius, but it's still, the Sagittarius month, it is a spiritual, okay? It's very important about that month, and because we got some people that are religious and they still do their Christmas, and some people do not, okay? And some people use certain type of like I said, different religion. But it's still, for that month, it's a spiritual walk, really, for that month of 9th. It is spiritual. It has to do with what they call the Phoenix Rising. It means something transformed, because 8 was death. Death is transformation, and Pluto's in the house right now. So understand the Pluto, and then the returns, because the harvest had came with the moon. We had the moon. Now we're in a new moon right now. New moon is good things, right? And we just came from a full, and now we're in a new. So this is time where you get your information, start writing things down, And I kind of think that people in this world is controlling of the narrative. And I believe, my understanding, let's get into the clairaudience and the clairs, and giving out the music. I think the audience I gave out there was giving out the information of life lessons. And that is very important, because the lessons that brought their video to me, I understand it was the life, how lessons can bestow on another person, and a lot of things of your ancestors passed down for the information you needed, and you got other people did not pass the abilities, and it passed to certain ones. And it tied to celebrities, because a lot of things have changed in the pandemic. And I noticed that a lot of things that these celebrities have not been out like they used to before the pandemic. And I've seen now a lot of them, the musicians, I said gospel is on YouTube now doing different type of cooking. People trying to bring income. And a lot of things that they were doing, what they were not doing, certain things, that having things has slowed down. So just imagine, so a lot of the, I call it musician, but producers and directing of movies, a lot of things have changed. People are doing all kinds of things right now. We're in the time of number 5. 5 is always going to be challenge and chaos and challenging, right? Number 5 has to do with the tarot card, which it will give you the Hierophant, and there's a lot of marriages. But marriage is also going to bring you something that's tied to. And I believe, going back to the video, I believe a lot of things could be trying to be tied. Somebody's trying to connect. Somebody's trying to give connection in another way, far from distance, maybe. You know, maybe a lot of people didn't like that feminine divine was able to get the downloads and the ancestry. When the Akashic records in there, that has to do with the tree. That Akashic always give you the head. The head is the computer before the computer came. So that information is something, is a stem that's been in the back of somebody's head. That gives you remembering and memory. It gives you the cog of the brain. Give you cognition. That means like your own computer that is working. It's like the computer like Microsoft. They'll give you the information of a tower connected to the as what you call it, the screen, the monitor. So monitor and the tower. That's what to me. And when you see that type of things, and I believe number 16 on that video, there was number 16 on that card. So that's like something something fell of the monitor of a tower. That means that the head may be tired. They give you the information of the memory. Now, how can different type of voodoo, hoodoo, they could do anything with moon magic. Moon magic is only temporarily anyway, because they can't withstand. That's somebody constantly is doing moon magic on another person and transferring the spirit from another. And that is probably the I think that what I'm saying about the divine feminine, she probably was going through all of that, understanding where they was coming from. And her knowledge was really exposing these religious covens and the emperor, and she knew that he was doing magic, and the voodoo knew it was coming from. And I kind of think she exposed everybody, even with the family too, because if they were, then they mostly have really to be surveilling it. And that's why they basically don't want her talking, because she's exposing, and somebody knew about what happened. But it seemed like she went through the process, though. I kind of went back in there and trying to get the understanding on it. It seemed like she's doing very well. I couldn't give out more information, because if I would, then because I didn't want to slip and see who is really going through that process. You know, sometimes when you get a intuitive reading, you don't want to tell everybody what's really going on, because the purpose is not to give all the information, and you want to make sure that the person is protected, right? So I kind of think that, we have to deal with so many controlling of so much things that's coming on now, and all these different things. It has to do with outlawing, and it means people, organization is coming and grouping together, and some of that is kind of outlaw, meaning that they're not in doing what they're supposed to do as far as the law. It seems like they're going out their way and trying to harm other people in another way so you can fall. And they're kind of like, maybe that's the reason what they was trying to do in the first place. They seem like it was targeted to this feminine divine. But anyway, I think Pluto had a lot to do with it, and Uranus energy, solar energy, because we got returns and harvests and everything, and it's the holidays. So just imagine the banks and everybody is trying to make sure they have another way of saying that well, anyway, I kind of think that has a lot to do with bank and the holidays. I didn't want that her in that video. But anyway, I don't know. I just kind of like, trying to get out more understanding. And sometimes when you like to do something, and like I said, I'm going through some process too, but as far as this lady, she really went through a lot. And like I said, you can't make everybody love you, because you're just trying to be yourself. And like I said, you can always find another way. And sometimes family is only gonna come anyway. They come and go. You can always find somebody else in your family, and you can meet other people, because you can't always to fit with you or fit yourself into other groupings. Okay, groups is become, as so many of them, they become not able to stand. Not able to as a stable, so they're not able to stand. Okay, sometimes the strength is when the individual by themselves, you stand by yourself. When there's so many people, they become weak. And so a chase of a runner chasing with that type of covert narcissistic, then this time you don't need to do anything but just to go in and file. You just need to file. Go to the police department and file. And the information that you do know that is about the target individuals, because I got a lot of videos. Go on the videos. Those videos I had target. I had it on my videos, but the target in videos there was from a lady on YouTube. I went on the field. And I'll basically listen to a lot of information to feel on the TV, on the series that he had about the convert and narcissistic about people, and that give all your information right there. Like I said, when you're dealing with fishermen, and you got the fish in Neptune, high priest energy, and social Virgo, 6th house and 12th house, it's always got to do with religions and hats. And hats is if it ain't a hat with religions, then it's gonna be or like I said, it'll have to be witches and warlocks, and those are the ones that have hats. Hats 9 out of 10 has to do with church, has to do with the Pope. It has to do with witches with hats in the church, because soul system, that's going to tell all the information right there. And then divine with another emperor, with the magician, with the soul sisters, that's a whole group of people. I can say this is something just the time of it. It's dark times. Dark times is like, you got light and dark, but it's more emphasis on the dark. And if you pay any attention, more movies are more scary and giving more hidden knowledge at this time. And it's the time of it. It's just how you deal with it. And that calls when the individual has to do other type of work in order to keep sustained, when other people is sending out target individuals and surveilling them. So you're going to have to talk to somebody, figure it out. You're going to have to try to see how, but it's necessary though, because it seems like that energy is it kind of made me yucky, because I thought about that Kool-Aid cyanide that Jim Jones was doing that on that movie. And I was young at that time, and my mother told me that it was so many people died. And the movie gonna tell you that too. It's just, from my understanding, for the religion part, it'll tell you something in scriptures. It'll tell you a man will lie. Okay? And because I don't have the information as far as the scriptures, I tell you can find it anywhere. A man can lie, and he can always give you the knowledge is necessary for you, but your work as an individual that's working in a religious or any cult, your job is to make sure that you do your work, because you don't have to worry about someone is connected to you so much that a person can fail about the ways that they are putting knowledge in, either to put you in a predicament of for you to be silly. And like I said, one thing about a woman is silly, and sometimes because depends on the knowledge. I've known that being a person that can give out knowledge, and I'm myself, you can attract to the knowledge that ability that has been given. You have to be careful with that, because other people will attract it to you, because you know some, and some will misuse you for the ability that you have. So that is a lot of information. So you got to be careful with that. And they can misuse it and put you in devalue of the knowledge. Just imagine in religious and certain type of practices that they don't like that. Evangelists, it's a lot of pastors and preachers, but just imagine, you might want to go on YouTube and see how many women had to go through that process being a pastor or even a priest. And certain things in religious and certain things they don't like. And I'm just saying that has not applied for certain ones, but they don't like it, even though it's been given. But some men don't like women that teach. Okay? Then you figure out where it's coming from. So I've been trying to get out the information about certain things. It's just keep moving, because if it's been given, it's been given. I don't know what else to say, but I just wanted to kind of get out information about information load, Mercury. Communication is something else, ain't it? So it's just time for Mercury retro. You got to go back in to get the information rewind, and that about the thoughts and communication. And number 3 is going to give you that across from it too. So that's going to give you Sagittarius. So that's going to give the spiritual. That's going to be 9th house. So you're dealing with 3 and 9, and that's Gemini. So that's got to do with spiritual things. That's going back with the planet rewind. Thoughts and communication. So I guess probably we're in different type of slow before you say something right now. Maybe slow down and think about before you saying. Just kind of like slow it down, because Mercury retro is kind of fast too. So you going one way and it's going rewind while you're going forward. Just imagine. So that's kind of like I always say, the planets is more of a powerful thing, and the reason why I started doing astrology for years, and I kind of have a little bit another way how I do astrology than other. I do both. You got different type of astrology. It's the Vedic is both. I do both, because the different things have to do with the calendar. Calendar is the Gregory, and the other one is the older calendar. You have 2. but you can use both. But the understanding of studying it, and I just kind of like the calendar is a lot, and plus the seasons, and how sometimes a lot of people don't understand about my readings, because I do it all. I kind of don't be stuck. I be free within a lot of information that I give out. And some of the things I've noticed being targeted and being doppelganger with the target of covert and narcissistic, people will use your information. They will pay other people, YouTube's influencing, and to pay call it investigation toward a target, and use the information and give it game to other influencing podcasts, because somebody might have put a whole lot of a bid. A bid is a bid. Bid is like a bingo, and somebody put a bid on there as a hit target, and this means somebody was trying to walk a shame and also to break this divine feminine heart. And they was trying to expose her in front of the world to belittle, and paid, and had the money, the ability to do that. So I kind of like, it's a spiritual war within it, and because the understanding that it's been given, you really can't do. And she shouldn't have to worry about her covering, because it is covered. And that is the reason why they pissed off. And so many people seem like they went from everybody. They went from the family, the religious, the cults, and went with the man, the masculine, which is the emperor too, and this been ordered and ordained, and authorities too. So just how many bids that is of one of a divine feminine at this time. So, honey, being as a intuitive reading, and my reading is about, like I said, about a lot. I bring in old, past. If it's past, it could always be something. Like I said, it can be something that it comes back into a time where some of these people that were intuitive readings back in the day, they were burning them. They were burning them years ago. Plenty places in Americas and all over the world. And when you became this intuitive reading, some of them are carnivals, what they call carnivals, in different places, that where you go different places when they are reading. And I believe in another type of empires that give you the information, that a lot of intuitive reading, and give you a lot of that in Egypt. Also give you different what was it, another one was called, someone tap my tongue, but these different type of empires, and at that time people were giving out the fortune tellers, and at that time at carnivals, at that time people were doing it. But yeah, just imagine about how many people that were burnt. They was burning them, even in that time with the kings and queens, emperors, and they was, burning them in front. Some of a time they were putting people's heads on a stake, and they was chopping their heads off. So just imagine. So Switzerland, I kind of like, the last time I watched a movie with Switzerland, and Switzerland had to do with the well, it had to do with trying to figure out what it was. I think it was Thor, and it had to do with the Switzerland. I think it's on Netflix. And he had the Thor. He had That's what it was about, and it had to do with Switzerland. You might need to go and watch that. I think the one was that one. I think I said something else I had said on here. I got to go back and read myself. Yeah, retro is something else. Yeah, these what they call burning the witch, and how to witch a person. Another video you can go on cable, and I believe is the wheel of fortune. I think it's the wheel, but you can go on a cable, and I guess that would be on direct energy, but direct for cable. You go on there, or you can do Amazon on the stick, and to go on the search and look and see if you can find the wheel. But they had something to do with witches, and they was putting rings on certain rings on one of this particular was a priest, and they was chasing for these witches, and he was like everyone he could, he was burning them, and he was taking them out and putting rings on their hand. You might want to also, I think the Witcher is on is that Netflix? Yeah, Witcher. It's a lot of information, and right now it's just the time darks. And what I say about this, the star is before the new moon, okay? And the new moon, it has the stars, but in this time you seeing the stars in the back too. So at times you might have seen the stars is in the front, but now the stars is in the back of the new moon. So that tells you that you're able to see through the dark now and through the veil. And scripture would tell you that in the Psalms. And that has to do with the valley, walking in it of the shadow of death. But you should not be, like I said, you shouldn't be scared and feared, because they become as evil. Because if you that scared and the fear has been given to you, you're given the test. It's a test of faith. And to me, with the wheel, and that those women was going through a lot, but it's a test to see how your will, your strength, and the faith, and faith has to do with your faith, and you just have to walk in knowing that you're gonna be all right and nothing gonna be touched. And that is something I learned from being in the church. So, well, I think that's it. I just had to give that information. And anxiety and fear has been transformed and put on others because they know how to do it now. So if they have to do with the celebrities, they probably went on and did other type of things, honey. That's the music. Everything has changed. So, like I say, just imagine. So many people now are doing intuitive reading and podcasts and giving out knowledge and esoteric and different type of occults and giving out information. So just try to keep yourself protection at all times. You don't have to do enlightenment and not to do as a dark witch. It's different from white witches, and both of them calls witch is a choice. So WHICH and WITCH. You two, and it's a choice. You have a choice to be a bad one, a bad angel, or a good angel. And they both lights. Okay, so you figure it out and study. And all I can say, people going to be what they're going to be. But you stand. This is for divine, for the feminines and intuitive reading. And that's all you can. Because everybody not going to like, they're not going to, because it's new and people scared about this type of other people that's been doing this for a while. Like I said, you could be big wigs. I call big wigs in the least. They big. But if it's in that type of energy, just imagine that, hey, they didn't teach you how you know. And then you may be doing so good that they scared. or you're not supposed to be doing it. Either one of the two. But like I said, when you do that type of stuff, people start looking you upside your head. And so, I mean, they talk to, like I said, in religions in Christ, they said he was crazy. I mean, come on. So it is what it is. Can't fit everybody, and everybody gets scared. So some people that are around you, there's a time for us to stand, and if they can't stand with you, then just like you have to move on and find other people. Because when you're around your family and they become weak and they scared because somebody knows something not gonna tell you, but they know it and they get scared. So you know, everybody don't have the strength of others, and sometimes you have to be by yourself, honey. That's all I had to say about that. I got a little bit Gump in here. Forrest Gump could probably end this energy. Look, Sergeant, what did he say? Sergeant Dan. That's all I have to say about that. Y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.